The internet woke up today and said, nah, this can't be real, because Chrisean Rock's 19-year-old husband just pulled off the most chaotic reality TV-level betrayal the streets have seen all year. And trust me, calling it messy would be an insult. This situation is so wild it makes the Kardashians look like a family of librarians, quietly playing Uno on a Sunday night. No, this is high-speed scandal, turbocharged fraud, and a betrayal so unhinged it could power a Zeus network spin-off by itself. Because according to the streets, the blogs, and one very stressed-out group of undercover investigators, Chrisean wasn't just dealing with relationship drama, she was walking straight into a financial ambush, planned, executed, and delivered by the child husband she thought was on her team. And when detectives say bank fraud, they're not talking about losing your debit card at Target. They mean grown man charges with real jail time, real consequences, and real agents watching every move like hawks with WI-V. And the craziest part? Allegedly, he didn't just participate. He set her up. You heard that right, set her up. A 19-year-old with the loyalty of a coupon scammer and the morals of a broken vending machine. This story didn't leak, it escaped, sprinted into traffic and caused a pileup. The story didn't start with handcuffs or bank alerts. It started with whispers, the kind of whispers that crawl through group chats at 3 a.m. Like a digital ghost. People close to Chrisean claim things felt off. Like her new 19-year-old husband was moving a little too slick, a little too quiet, and a little too confident for someone whose career highlight was tagging along in background live streams. But nobody expected the plot to twist into a full-blown financial crime saga that made her entire timeline look like an episode of Money Heist, Baltimore edition. Before the fraud allegations surfaced, Chrisean thought she had found someone who finally loved her without agenda. Someone who wasn't blue-faced, wasn't toxic, wasn't using her name for clout. Little did she know she had basically adopted a villain from a budget Netflix thriller. He played the supportive role, the I got you, baby role, the don't worry about bills role, all while her accounts were allegedly being drained, monitored, and manipulated like he was practicing for a future FBI interrogation. The internet barely blinked when people first noticed him holding her purse, carrying her bags, and managing her phone like he was a new personal assistant she never hired. But looking back, all the signs were there. The man moved with the confidence of someone who knew passwords, not suspected passwords, knew them, knew the numbers, knew the login phrases, knew the phone unlock pattern that was supposed to be a secret but somehow became shared property. The first red flag popped when Chrisean started randomly mentioning that money was missing or acting weird. Fans brushed it off, blaming Blueface, Mercury retrograde, or whichever cousin was beefing with her that week. But the truth was far messier. Bank notifications started coming in at strange hours for transactions she didn't recognize, stores she never visited, transfers she didn't approve, and every time she confronted her young husband, he played the victim like he was auditioning for a soap opera. Someone must be hacking us. He insisted. It's the apps. It's the banks. It's the haters. Meanwhile, haters weren't even in the equation. But federal investigators were. The situation escalated when strange deposits started hitting her accounts. Not regular deposits, but amounts that didn't match any brand deals, payouts, or show checks. It was money out of thin air, money that didn't belong, money that screamed. Fraudulent activity detected louder than a bank CEO in a crisis meeting. And instead of being alarmed, her husband started acting excited. Too excited. Suspiciously excited. Allegedly, he began encouraging her to just cash out. Don't ask questions. And it's quick money. Trust me. That's when the people around Chrisean realized the 19-year-old wasn't just young. He was dangerous, reckless, and possibly planning to use her name, image, and celebrity status as a perfect cover for illegal activity. When the first investigation thread surfaced, everything clicked. Fraud departments were reaching out. Bank reps were requesting clarifying calls. One insider claimed an investigator asked her directly, "Did you authorize these transfers?" And the look on her face reportedly said everything: confusion, betrayal, and the sinking realization that she might not be the mastermind. She might be the pawn. By the time the news hit social media, the public reaction exploded. Memes flew in like missiles. People joked that Chrisean can't catch a break even if she hires someone to catch it for her. Others said she skipped the dating stage and jumped straight into a Lifetime movie. And then there were the trolls who claimed she collected men like unpaid bills. The internet was relentless. But the deeper the story went, the darker it got. Because evidence began pointing to the 19-year-old setting her up from day one. Crafting a relationship that put him close to her finances, her documents, her digital life. He wasn't just dating her. He was allegedly studying her like she was a case file. When detectives dug into the transactions, a pattern emerged. Money pulled from her account seemed to reappear linked to accounts he managed. deposits tied to fraudulent checks, and stolen identities traced back to technology found in his possession. And the wildest part? Some transfers used her Face ID, not her manually unlocking the phone. Someone holding the device over her face while she slept. That detail alone sent the internet into meltdown mode. Celebrities started chiming in. Influencers posted reaction videos with shocked expressions so dramatic you'd think they were auditioning for Zeus Network. Rappers made jokes about never dating someone who was born during the iPhone era. Meanwhile, Blueface clapped back from the shadows, dropping shade that fueled the firestorm. He hinted that he saw this coming, that Chrisean's choice is always ending chaos, that this was karma circling the block again, and the memes didn't help. Someone posted a picture of the husband with the caption, "This man's side hustle is ruining lives." Another compared him to an off-brand scammer from GTA. Fans joked he graduated from Fraud University with honors. Others said he was reminding the world why teenagers should not be trusted with adult responsibilities. But beneath the jokes was a harsh truth. The situation was becoming criminally serious. Detectives allegedly traced multiple fraudulent charges linked to Chrisean's accounts. Some involved wire transfers, some involved fake checks, some involved stolen identities, and allegedly, every trail circled back to the same source, the husband. The storyline took a crazier turn when leaked messages surfaced. Screenshots, real or not, began circulating. Conversations where he allegedly discussed running plays, flipping accounts, and using the fame to cover the trail. Whether the screenshots were verified didn't matter. The internet treated them like gospel. Drama feeds on vibes, not evidence. That's when the public outrage peaked. People weren't just clowning him anymore. They were furious. Furious that someone so young could manipulate a woman who was already battling emotional storms. Furious that he used her trust as a weapon. Furious that he dragged her name into legal danger while pretending to be her savior. The chaos triggered a wave of celebrity reactions. Reality stars tweeted about trusting the wrong man. Social media personalities made dramatic videos about protecting your energy. Even random influencers who never mentioned Chrisean before suddenly acted like they had a decades-long friendship. Because when a scandal trends, everyone becomes a supportive spokesperson. Meanwhile, offline, things were intensifying. Cops didn't just check in. They reportedly started pulling financial records, gathering statements, and identifying patterns. Investigators circled the situation like sharks who smelled blood in the water. They weren't looking for drama. They were looking for motives, methods, and accomplices. Insiders say Chrisean was blindsided when she learned the full scope. She allegedly felt humiliated, betrayed, and manipulated. And for once, the chaos surrounding her wasn't from her own impulsive decisions. It was from someone she trusted like family. The public's sympathy shifted. People who normally criticize her softened their tone. Because this time she wasn't the villain. She was the victim of a plot so unexpectedly petty and dangerous. It belonged in a true crime documentary narrated by Morgan Freeman. Then came the biggest twist yet. Reports of federal agents, not just local investigators, may be monitoring the case. That possibility sent social media spinning. TikTok creators started posting dramatic analysis videos with red circles and arrows pointing to screenshots. YouTube commentators delivered exclusive breakdowns using the same three facts everyone already knew. Twitter threads became novels. The story grew from a scandal into a cultural earthquake, and the aftershocks were only getting stronger. Cops were closing in. Banks wanted answers. Fans wanted justice, and Chrisean wanted revenge. No matter how the case plays out, one thing is clear: this wasn't a relationship gone wrong. It was a setup from the beginning, and the internet is hungry for the ending. When the dust finally began to settle, the aftermath hit harder than the scandal itself. People expected chaos, but nobody predicted the emotional wreckage, the legal danger, and the public meltdown that followed. Chrisean wasn't just dealing with betrayal. She was dealing with the realization that her entire life had been hijacked by someone who treated loyalty like a joke and consequences like a myth. And the world watched as the truth cracked open wider than anyone imagined. Investigators kept digging, and every new detail painted a darker picture. The alleged fraud wasn't small or simple. It wasn't a teenage mistake. It was layered, premeditated, and intentional. Banks reported accounts tied to multiple names, suspicious transfers, and inconsistencies that didn't match Chrisean's spending patterns at all. Someone was creating a digital trail that pointed straight at her, while the real culprit allegedly hid behind her fame like a shield. And that realization shattered her. Not because the situation was embarrassing, she survived embarrassment. It shattered her because she finally realized she wasn't just in a messy relationship. She had been living inside someone else's strategy. Every sweet moment, every supportive gesture, Every "I've got your back" speech was allegedly part of a longer game. A teenage mastermind running adult crimes behind a woman who trusted him with everything she didn't guard. The emotional fallout hit the public next. Some fans were angry at her for letting someone so young into her life. Others defended her, saying she was exploited during a vulnerable time. But everyone agreed on one thing: the betrayal was brutal. People who normally criticize her found themselves speaking with empathy. Because this wasn't drama she caused, it was pain she didn't see coming. Meanwhile, her husband wasn't handling the pressure well. As investigators reportedly questioned people in their circle, he began acting more unstable, defensive and paranoid. Friends claimed he avoided calls, dodged questions, and deflected blame with the confidence of someone who thought denial was a personality trait. Some said he tried to spin a story by claiming he didn't understand banking rules. Others claimed he blamed hackers, apps, and even her family members, like he was choosing suspects from a random generator. But the police aren't swayed by dramatic excuses. They follow patterns, not emotions. And the patterns reportedly pointed straight at him. The more investigators pieced together, the less room he had to wiggle. Every transaction, every suspicious activity, every digital fingerprint locked him deeper into the situation. The legal consequences became unavoidable. People close to the couple started receiving calls from authorities asking for statements. Some cooperated, some refused. Some stayed silent because silence felt safer than guessing wrong. Meanwhile, the feds, allegedly monitoring the case, weren't just looking for one guilty person. They were analyzing whether anyone else knowingly participated. That fear alone created division in the inner circle. People distanced themselves. Friendship lines cracked. Trust evaporated. Nobody wanted to be near a situation with federal implications. And as connections dissolved, Chrisean found herself more alone than ever, facing the embarrassment of a public downfall and the devastation of a personal betrayal. At the same time, the media took the story and stretched it like elastic. Some headlines called her naive. Others called the husband a criminal mastermind. And conspiracy theorists took the story and twisted it into something even wilder, claiming he was part of a larger fraud ring, claiming someone else was pulling the strings, claiming this was payback for past drama. The internet didn't just analyze the situation, it mutated it. But behind all the noise, Chrisean allegedly reached a breaking point. Friends described her as hurt, angry, and determined. Angry at him for the betrayal, angry at herself for ignoring red flags, and angry at the world for constantly watching her pain like it was entertainment. She started distancing herself, cutting ties, and quietly cooperating with people who could help her protect her future. Before the damage went any deeper, the public saw the shift instantly. Her posts became sharper. Her tone changed. She went from emotional to focused. It was the kind of shift you see in someone who finally realizes the chaos wasn't accidental. It was engineered. And the rebellious, fiery side of her came roaring back, ready to fight in a way people hadn't seen in months. Meanwhile, the husband's reputation tanked at record speed. Fans dragged him relentlessly. Memes portrayed him as a walking red flag. People said he scammed love the way influencers scam giveaways. And legally, his situation grew more fragile by the hour. Once investigators see a pattern of fraud, the next steps become predictable: more questions, more evidence, more charges. The final blow came when sources claimed authorities were preparing to pursue deeper inquiries. That meant interviews, subpoenas, and possibly the kind of charges that transform a scandal into a courtroom saga. And with each passing day, the walls allegedly closed and tighter around him. No matter how the story ends, the consequences are undeniable. His reputation is stained. Her trust is shattered. Their relationship is effectively broken. And the legal system is circling with more patience, power, and precision than either of them expected. This wasn't a love story gone wrong. It was a betrayal that detonated, and the shock waves are still spreading. If you're still here, you just survived one of the wildest relationship scandals the internet has coughed up this year. Because this wasn't simple drama, this was a full-blown financial ambush wrapped in romance, betrayal, and the type of chaos that forces you to sit back and question every password you've ever shared. And trust me, this saga is far from over. When money, manipulation, and police investigations collide, the story doesn't end, it multiplies. So before the next twist drops and you already know another twist is coming, smash that like button like it tried to run off with your bank card. Punch that subscribe button like it owes you an apology. And turn those notifications on so aggressively that your phone starts to fear you. Because the way scandals unfold around here, you'll miss 10 updates if you blink twice. Drop your thoughts in the comments, too. Do you think she'll press charges? Do you think he acted alone? Or do you think more people are involved behind the scenes, waiting for their names to hit the timeline next? The theories are getting crazier by the day, and I want to hear where you stand in this whirlwind. And remember, scandals don't sleep. They reload. New drama is always pulling up, always louder, always messier. Stay locked in. Because the next bombshell is already on its way.